You're watching Fat Bidin Knows Everything, and it's true, I do know everything. Now this week, what we want to talk about is my dissatisfaction, or I'm going to say most of Malaysia's dissatisfaction on the performance of Pakatan Harapan as the government. Here's the thing, I think after about more than 500 days, a lot of people are now really judging Pakatan Harapan as the government very hard. A lot of people are saying that they are actually not doing a very good job. This includes people who voted for them. Actually, it is specifically people who did vote for them. People are very dissatisfied with their performance. Now, they promised a lot of things, and I think a lot of things that they've promised have not become reality, and that's why a lot of people are very angry. There was a poll done by the Merdeka Center right after the elections. It's more than 70% of people. They had a I guess a very agreeable rate. People really liked them, and I think the survey said that it was more than 70% of people supported Pakatan Harapan and felt that they were going to be a good government. Now, after more than a year, Merdeka Center did another survey, and they found out that this has dropped drastically, and now only like 41% or something like that people are actually still supporting Pakatan Harapan and still thinking that they are actually doing a good job, right? Now, that is not very good at all in my books. I mean, if you drop from like 75% to 41%, that's huge, right? That is extremely huge. Now, a lot of people tell me, Zan, you can't expect the new government, the Pakatan Harapan government, to actually just fix the whole country within like a year, right? Because it took like the previous administration more than 60 years to destroy the country, or so. That's what they say lah, right? Now, I'm not expecting perfection, right? All I'm saying is that there are a lot of things that the government have promised which they can actually have fulfilled. They have not, right? I mean, for one, the gender equality quota has not been fulfilled. But two, look at the economy. Has the economy actually improved? I don't think so. You know, people are still looking for jobs. People are still complaining that the starting salary is low. People are still saying that the cost of living is very high. You go out and try to buy things, you know, food is still expensive, petrol is still expensive, cost of living is still very high, right? Education, oh my god, I mean education, the quota system is still there when it comes to like the racial consistency of people who get accepted into public into the public education system. You know, you've got the Jawi issue, so many things that hasn't been settled. One of the biggest problems to me, I think, that Pakatan Harapan government is not handling very well is the racial and religious issue in the country. I know I've been talking about this a lot, but unfortunately, I think this is a problem that will plague everything. Remember last week, people were talking about employment, and then the government wanted to introduce like a law that actually helps employees so that they won't be discriminated against. What happened? Oh no, the Malaysian employee MEF, right? They said no, we disagree. You know, they want discrimination to happen. So you see, this racial and religious issue actually, it affects every single aspect of the country, right? So if you don't solve this, teruk lah, right? I mean, think about it, right? Right now, UMNO and PAS have combined together to be one, right? And all they're saying is that Pakatan Harapan will never ever have the Malays and the Muslims in consideration, right? Why? Because they've got the DAP there, and it's easy for UMNO and PAS to say this because you know, even before the election, Pakatan Harapan has always said that, yeah, we're going to fight for equal rights and all that. Everybody is created equal. Doesn't matter what race or religion you are. And you know, you've got the DAP and all that. So it's easy. UMNO and PAS will just say, oh yeah, see, they are anti-Malay. It's very easy for them to say, even though it's probably not true. And unfortunately, Pakatan Harapan is playing into that because they are also afraid to lose the Malay vote. Right? So, what do? They pander lah. Right? And they know they have to appease most of the Malays. Right? So they play the racial issue again. So there's no difference between Pakatan Harapan and the previous Barisan Nasional administration. They are still creating problems when it comes to religion and race. So I think, right, and I know a lot of I know some of my friends also said that, hey, there have been things that have been improved, like for example the media. They tell me that, oh Zan, you see, now you can say anything and do whatever you want in the media. You can criticize the government, you can criticize anybody you want, and you're not going to get in trouble and all that. That is improvement. Sure, that is improvement. But let me tell you, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, right? My career as a journalist, and I've always been criticizing them. And it's not just me, there are a lot of people out there who have always been criticizing the government or anybody they want, right? And so, it's not a big problem. Like, it's not much of a problem, right? So, I think that Pakatan Harapan, all they're doing is right now, they're just trying to see if they can pander to the people who can give them the most votes, so that in the next general elections, they'll stay in power. Unfortunately, that's not the government that most Malaysians want, right? Because we want a government that can actually improve the country for its future, okay? Not just for them to get immediate gains and, you know, win the next election. Look, 500 days have gone by, more than 500 days have gone by. Blink of an eye. There's another about 1,500, 1,300 days before the next election. 2-3 blinks, again, it's all going to be over, right? It's all going to be over. So, I want to tell the Pakatan Harapan government that they need to buck up, right? Because if they don't, I'll tell you, Malaysians are going to vote them out, right? Unfortunately, we don't have a very good opposition right now in UMNO and PAS, but still, we can still vote them out, right? So buck up. I'm not kidding, right? I'm not kidding, because Malaysians have already proven to themselves that they can actually, you know, they can actually change, right? They can affect and cause change. So that's what democracy is, right? You don't do the work, you're gonna be out. I don't think Malaysians are that stupid lah. Right? So Pakatan Harapan, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna perform right now? Yo, you know what you can do? You can help me out. Feed my kids. I've got 2 kids with another one on the way. I need cash, especially when the economy is so bad. So, you know, you can always go to the Fat Bidin store and buy my merchandise. I've got books for sale. Look, I've got this great book. It's Journal Dad. It's Chronicles of a Journalist Who Just Happens to Be a Father. It's stories about me being a journalist and a father. I've got this one, Zan Azli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking. This is a book I wrote with my buddy Chun. He's a DOP, I'm a director. We wrote a book about how you can make independent films. I've got a graphic novel. Look, graphic novel, non-fiction. It's all about my time in Afghanistan. It's called Adventures of a KLite in Afghanistan. I've got a non-fiction novel, Operation Nasi Kerabu. This is about my time shooting a documentary in southern Thailand about the war there. And look at this, Liberal Malay and Malaysian. Ooh. Now this is a compilation of articles that I wrote for the Malaysian Insider many years ago. Yeah, it's really good, right? So go to the Fat Bidin store, purchase them. They're cheap. If you buy it on that store, I'll make sure I'll sign it, make it out to you, and write a personal message. So help me feed my kids.